Yes, we were talking the other day about how it's, the year has kind of just flown by. This for me is my first singles pay-per-view ever, and I that's a big one for me, and I wanna make the most of it. And obviously you've had a unique relationship with Max, being his mentor and then his enemy, and
still his mentor, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's
And I don't know if there's anything you can give me to kind of make the most of it.
I wouldn't put the pressure on yourself. This is your first singles match on a pay-per-view. My first singles match on a pay-per-view, even though I had been in a few main events and I thought I was in some high-profile things, my first singles match on a pay-per-view was actually in front of 80,000 people, and no one had put it together. Because when you said that to me now, I didn't consider that this is the first time you've wrestled singles on a pay-per-view. But Max, as a wrestler, I lost my privilege to bury him because he beat me. But as a wrestler, you gotta be really cognizant of the fact that he's a counters guy. He's a counter wrestler. He's a perseverance wrestler. He's a hang in there, wait for a lucky break. He's got real good wind, which went against me when we had our match at Revolution. But I think the most important thing, I could be totally wrong, but if you're asking me.
Let's hope not.
I think the most important thing is don't fall into the game. I fell deep into the game. The 10 lashes, the cage. You don't want to blow your wad before you get to this pay-per-view. You already have it in your mind. Your first singles match. The world is watching. Double or Nothing. Our, anniversary event essentially. Yeah. Just go in and visualize you winning. Don't get caught in the weeds that is MJF, because most people can't get out of that maze, myself included. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just win, man.
Yeah.
Just win.
Hey everyone, Jen Decker here with your Road to Double or Nothing update. This Wednesday night Dynamite on TNT is an absolutely stacked card featuring a women's four-way match with Penelope Ford, Chris Statlander, Dr. Britt Baker DMD, and Hikaru Shida. Since losing her title shot against Riho, Chris Statlander's rebounded very nicely until her last singles match when she ran into the immovable force that is Nyla Rose. She also did not fare well in her last four-way match back in March, but that match actually gave her some familiarity with Penelope Ford and Shida in this type of setting. Statlander and Britt are far from strangers to one another, having faced her in both singles and tag team action, respectively splitting those victories. But if Statlander can stay focused on her game plan and not get caught up in the chaos of extra bodies in the ring, I actually feel pretty good about her chances. But then again, Shida has been on an entirely different level. And let's not forget, this is the environment that Shida absolutely thrives in, being undefeated in 3 and 4-way matches at AEW. But make no mistake, Britt Baker will be looking to settle the score and return the poor man's nose job from their last meeting. The doctor's really come into her own since embracing her role model status and has looked more and more impressive in the ring as of late. All this said, do not sleep on Penelope Ford, guys. She's been consistently putting out matches some people have considered to be huge upsets on Dark, even pinning the inaugural AEW champion Riho. Even if she doesn't win this match, rest assured, she will cause trouble for everyone involved if it helps her chances. One thing's for sure, this match definitely has title implications written all over it. Also in action this Wednesday, we get a look at the fallout from last week's street fight between the Sex Gods and Hardy and Omega of the Elite. Early on in the match, it looked like Hardy and Omega had the win well within their reach, until other members of the Inner Circle, of course, joined in and outnumbered them. Well, this week, Kenny Omega and Broken Matt Hardy get their shot at retribution against the men that ambushed them. While Santana Ortiz have seen other members of the Elite in ring action, they have not faced Kenny Omega since Bash at the Beach in that four-way tag. And let's face it, there's not much match film on Broken Matt Hardy's current essence, Damascus. We simply do not know what version of Matt Hardy will show up on Wednesday night, which honestly should have Santana Ortiz pretty concerned. The Elite have got to be getting desperate at this point, as it seems with every week that passes, they lose more and more control over AEW. Kenny Omega and Broken Matt need to win this match to at least level the playing field and give the Elite some kind of presence on Dynamite. But more importantly, the Elite have got to find a way to get the band back together and get on the same page. Be sure and tune in for all the action this Wednesday. We'll have those matches for you, among others, including MJF's in-ring return. I promise you don't want to miss it. See you Wednesday on TNT.
Well, I'm very happy to do this one, to be able to talk to my buddy.
That's right. We go way back.
Dasha Gonzalez. Dasha, as many of you know, is part of our Spanish announce team, ring announcer, work with me on Dark. It's been great to get to know you and work with you. This is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Ooh, my mom always told me try to wear as many hats as possible.
Right.
And pretty much I get a call, they say, hey, you want to try this out? And I'm like, yeah, of
Right.
course, why
Sure.
not? Let's give it a whirl. You know,
Right.
what's the worst that can happen?
So how did you get in the business? Long
Well,
story?
No, it's
Okay.
not a long
Okay.
story. I actually applied online, believe it or not.
Really?
I was studying molecular biology or microbiology at the time, and I was talking to my now husband, and he's just like, you know what? You'd be great at that. And I'm
Right.
like, you know what? I never thought of it. I always wanted a job where I could be like physically fit, active, be a positive role model, and like I was like going through the boxes, and it checked everything I wanted in a dream job.
Those of us who know you know that you are
Project.
pretty jacked, absolutely. And we are really excited that Dasha is competing in the Titan Games coming up on NBC on May 25th, the second season of it. Tell us about how you got into that.
Ooh, another one. Applying online. Apply online, people. You know what?
Right.
You know, so many doors can
Right.
open up.
Sure.
Well, I actually was watching Dwayne Johnson's Instagram, and he had posted like a call to action of like, "Hey, we're looking for Titan." I mean, he does not sound like that. Please, Dwayne, don't think that
Right.
that's what you sound like. He's way more masculine.
Right.
Most people only see me as like an interviewer or
Right.
an announcer.
Right.
Like, they didn't know that I had learned a little bit how to wrestle
Yes.
back in the day.
Right.
And I'm an athlete. I was a national competitive gymnast. I swam, I dove, I wrestled, played football, did Marine Corps ROTC. I was like, you know what? I think the world can like finally learn a little bit about myself.
Right.
I tend to be a little bit, you know, kind of closed in my personal life. And unless you know me,
Right.
you know a
Right.
lot about me.
Right.
But so you know what? I've gone through some pretty big struggles in my life, and this may help motivate somebody to try something new, something they fear, something that they've never done before. And for me, season 2, I was just freshly coming off of an Achilles injury. I had
Really?
that surgery.
Wow.
So it was kind of like for me, it was a personal journey of like a full circle. You're clear, you're good, you can continue going on.
Right.
And it was the most challenging physically and mentally experience that I've ever been in my
Really?
entire life.
So do you want to wrestle again?
Absolutely.
Right.
Ah,
Listen, we got a girl on Titan Games, right? You can get back in the
I
ring.
would love to. I mean, as a kid, you always wanted to be on a bus or be on a truck, have
Right.
an action figure,
Right.
win a title,
Right.
you know? Like, those are just all dreams I had as a kid.
Right.
I love the culture here. I love the family here. I feel comfortable here. So it would be amazing to, who knows, maybe one day be able to represent, you know, the women of AEW.
Wow. So this lady, microbiology major, Marine Corps ROTC, gymnast, beauty pageant queen, co-host, Spanish announcer, ring announcer, and maybe one day wrestler.
Who knows?
Hell of a resume.
Who knows?
It's always great working with you.
Same Tony.
You sincerely are one of the nicest people out there.
Thank you.
You're more than well. Give me some.
Bam.
Are we allowed to do that? Or are we supposed to do this?
Oh, this.
Okay.
I'll do this.
Dasha Gonzalez, the one and only Dasha Gonzalez. You'll see her on Titan Games, and of course, we'll hear her and see her on AEW.
My name is Suge D, but you probably know me better as Pineapple Pete. I spent a long time in my career with a broken compass. I didn't know where I was going or what direction I was going in. Every beating that I took, I came back for more of it because I wanted this. You start wondering after a while, especially if you've been in it as long as I've been, because you know your friends are all getting signed, walls that they're breaking down, and you remember you were in those same cars with them. It really sets on you. It's like, am I that bad? Am I that unwantable? Is there something about the reality of me why I'll never make it? If I quit now, if I just stop, I give up everything right now, how close was I? That's what indie wrestling is like every day. All the pain, the long car drives, the crappy pay, that's indie wrestling. It's clawing and scratching, and it's having true grit to believe that you may not even make it, but you love this art, so you perform anyway. It literally took Chris Jericho playing around on commentary for the world to know who I am.
Pineapple Pete's involved? Get Pineapple Pete out of here! I hate that guy!
When you've been in the shadows for like 16 years, and you're wondering if you're ever gonna see a ray of light, one little sliver of sunshine, it changes everything. Thanks, Chris.
What are you guys out here selling? Cookies? Oh, worse. You're handing out flyers? What is this garbage? Aren't you taking this math thing a little too far? What are you still doing around here? Why are you here? We don't like your freak show kind around here. Excuse me! Excuse me! Is there a problem here? No problem, Bubblegum. A hood and you brought Junior the Gimp.
So we mean no harm, all right?
Oh, you come to
Just a
save my
couple guys
soul?
doing their jobs. Okay, listen, really no problem here.
Ah, brother!